Rolling. Trying to think of how to start the whole thing. Give me a second to collect my thoughts here. What's the number one submission in the world?
Rear naked choke.
You cheated. I told you what we were going to cover already. Yes. Number one submission of all time. One of the simplest of all the chokes, the rear naked choke, and mostly because it comes from one of the most dominant positions, the back mount control. And so catching it, everybody that does jiu-jitsu, if they've got two arms especially, or even one arm really, really should spend a lot of time focusing on being as masterful as they can at catching and finishing the rear naked choke. So we're going to go over a couple details on how to actually finish and catch the choke in the back mount position, and some things that can kind of make it a little bit more useful for everybody. I love the choke, and even in the gi, a lot of times you're going to see when we get the back mount in the gi, a lot of times the hand gets caught in the collar, and so there's so many good collar chokes that a lot of times, why would you even mess around with, with going all the way around? But for self-defense, for sure, you want to make sure that this is one of the top chokes of all time. Okay, it is the top choke of all time. If you look at the statistics, it's the number one submission in modern mixed martial arts, and I would say it's probably true for history, even before the advent of modern mixed martial arts, right, or no holds barred. So one of my tricks, one of the things I like to do, because it's instinct. When I start to come here like this, okay, one of the things I like to do here is to make this a one-on-one battle, okay. And if we're on the side like this, if I fall to what we call the weak side, and I take this arm, I make this a one-on-one fight. So if I start to go for his neck, and he starts to pull down, which is very common, I turn my hand over, I throw his arm down, and I trap it, right? Now, kind of free chokes, right? Okay, now, he's still gonna try it, and this is a strong grip, but at the same time, like, it's not super hard for a strong guy to stretch their arm, okay? But if I follow it, try to bring it back towards your neck, I bring it back behind my head, I hide it. He starts to come back in front again, and I bring it back down, okay? So I wanna keep it away from this hand, all right? Now, the other thing I wanna make sure I don't do is move my head. I wanna keep good head position, okay? For a couple reasons. I don't wanna take a headbutt or whatever, but I also don't want him to get his head on the mat and defend the whole position. So if I'm here like this and I start coming here, even if he tucks his chin and looks towards me, I may gross him out by trying to whisper in his ear or something. He might look away. But if I come here and he's got his chin tucked, this little wobble is like the coolest little, I forget what they call that. What was the Addams Family, the little hand? Was it?
Thing.
Thing. Thank you. Thing. Yeah, the thing, right? So I'm here like this, I've got this trap down, he's defending, he's tucking his chin. All I need is this thumb to wrist entry, okay? And I start wobbling my hand like this. Yeah, good. And now I can even finish with just a one-arm rear naked choke. I can pull this out, but I risk losing my head position. So from here, I would just hold the back of his shoulder, squeeze here, and use my shoulder to kind of press into his neck, okay? It's a little bit more of a crude rear naked choke. Things are a little bit different on the strong side. Okay, now, if it's a serious situation, right? Like sometimes it's difficult to do this against high-level grapplers. Not difficult. I mean, it's still available. You see it a lot of times, even especially no gi, when the gi's not there. Some things that you can do that aren't really nice to your friends, right? When you're training, I wouldn't do these things to my friends. But if he's defending really well here like this. Sometimes you just need to go right underneath their nose and lift their head up, shoot this hand behind, and you can throw the choke in. Now, if he brings both hands up and he's grabbing here, okay, I can turn my hand down. I'm gonna shift my arm. Let's turn this way a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna turn my hand down. I'm gonna shift it here like this. So ideally, I get this arm down. I have 2-on-1 now. But my elbow, I'm kind of pushing his arm outside of my leg and my arm, and my elbow and my knee are kind of together here. Now bring your hand up. It's hard to defend this now. Now I can sneak this in, I can rip this free, shoot it in, and now I can go for my squeeze, okay? So you can go right across their face, lift it up, right across their nose, okay? Sometimes if they're just really, really buttoned up here, don't forget elbow strikes, okay? Right to the base of the head, the base of the neck here. It's a very, very dangerous strike. In fact, you can't really do that in mixed martial arts anymore, but if things are serious and you need to finish a fight, that's a good way to soften somebody up, is right just a good couple elbows to the base of the skull, especially if they're belly down. That's real bad news, okay? If they're tucking their chin and it's still, again, it's the fight, I can use palm strikes to push the chin. Okay, relax your hands for a second. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hit you. Maybe a little bit.
I thought you were
okay. So palm striking to get the chin in line with the neck. Maybe I shouldn't be showing some of this stuff. I don't know. All right. Another simple, very, very simple way to get their hands down in the fight, especially if they don't know what's going on. You're fighting around here like this, is just a little kick to the groin. Right. This is not very fun. Now you'll see this in mixed martial arts. Sometimes they'll kick the belly there. It's not very fun, but this has got to be a lot worse, right? Should we test it? Probably not.
Rather not.
But there's a lot of very technical ways of setting up and isolating arms so that you can get the neck. And really what we need is to get those arms out, especially if the person knows what's coming, okay? And so some of that is applicable to just everyday training. Some of it is only applicable to actual self-defense. So make sure you're drawing the line there and not, kicking your friend in the groin. I think they would really be upset with you when you're training. Really practice working on your rear naked choke. And also making sure that you're being very technical with your squeeze and not just, trying to pull their head off. We'll do a different video maybe some other time talking about the details of finishing the choke, because a lot of people miss it, right? And it's one of those chokes that, I guess what I'm trying to say is they miss the details, right? And they're being very, very crude about the choke. Now, here's the cool thing about it, is that if you apply that choke with 30% of technical efficiency, it's still like 100% effective, okay? But we want to be as technical as possible with our squeeze so we don't burn ourselves out, and we make sure that we can apply that choke to somebody who's much, much bigger, much stronger than us when we get the opportunity. So practice your rear naked chokes. I know it's a super basic technique, but again, it is the lion killer for a reason. So hope those techniques or tips help. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you soon.